Leading up to the Oscars that is happening this Sunday, I've been reviewing and rewatching a lot of the nominated films. So, for today's episode, I will be continuing from yesterday's episode following the Barbie movie with none other than its rival film, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, which came out last year, was written and directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Cillian Murphy as its lead role amongst many other really great actors, and is based off of the real-life J. Robert Oppenheimer, an American scientist who is very well known for being one of the main contributors and the creator of the atomic bomb. And this is sort of a biopic about his experience leading up to the Manhattan Project and the aftermath of what went down. I just want to start off by saying Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest filmmakers in modern time and is easily one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. And as many of you know from his previous films like Inception or the Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar, etc., the announcement of him making the movie Oppenheimer based off of the atomic bomb events, was there ever any doubt that this was going to be a revolutionary film? The film is 3 hours long, which is a long time for a lot of people, but for those who love cinema, it's just another movie, especially when it has a story that is told in the correct way. And I can safely say that Oppenheimer is one of those movies that is it's very dialogue heavy, but it has a lot of payoff with its visuals and stunning cinematography. Also, not a second of the movie felt like it had unnecessary information or scenes or dialogue thrown at you to fill in any kind of missing time. Everything equally was important, and with Christopher Nolan being the master editor that he is able to condense a film so perfectly to where you're not going to get anything that's not important or relevant to the story being told. As somebody who's trying to become a director himself, I was blown away by the performances that through the direction that Christopher Nolan gave his actors, because it felt a lot like they weren't necessarily acting and were given a lot of free range to be as real as possible. They felt like really real people. And back over to Cillian Murphy and his portrayal as Oppenheimer, he was very relatable. There are a lot of times where I felt this genuine care and concern that he had in wanting to help the world be a better place, which ultimately changes throughout the film as he realizes it's possibly worse just because of him and his actions. And you get to see him dealing with that struggle the whole time in the aftermath. I genuinely think that this is the best performance that I've ever seen Cillian in. The supporting cast was also incredible, with tons of A-list actors, amongst them names like Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Jason Clarke, and even Matt Damon, and the list goes on. And although all of them did an amazing job, I do want to say that Robert Downey Jr. really stole the show for me. Even though he really isn't in the film a whole lot, for what he is in, he delivers a phenomenal performance that is really unforgettable. Another thing that I really love that Christopher Nolan does in his movies is he tries to use as little CGI as humanly possible, and it is incredible the way that he is able to do some of the things, including creating a replica explosion of the atomic bomb. And the way that he does these close-up shots and particle effects and things moving in slow motion is really mesmerizing and kind of jaw-dropping. Along with the sound design in this movie, which is beautiful, alongside the score by Ludwig Göransson, who was previously working with Nolan on Tenet, the perfect mix of sound and music going in and out of each other throughout this movie is fantastic, and it left me just wanting more. Oppenheimer is a film that I feel was created for people who genuinely care about the craft and love of cinema. It is a filmmaker's dream. This movie really was a monumental achievement in modern cinema, and I love when one questions the morality of people in the story, when it really hits hard and is thought-provoking long after you've experienced the film. It's safe to say that I give Oppenheimer a 5 out of 5. And if you haven't seen this movie and you love film, then you need to stop whatever it is you're doing and go watch this movie. It's worth all 3 hours, and I promise you, you'll love it. So that's going to be it for today's review. We will catch you later. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Calvin Cam podcast. We appreciate you all so very, very much. And if you like us, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really help us out. As well as you could go over to our social media platforms like Instagram or X and follow us over there. We like to communicate and build our community up. As well as you could also go to patreon.com/the Calvin Cam and join one of our 3 tiers that we offer. We offer a couple of different benefits per tier, and it's good stuff, and it would really, really help us, and we'd really appreciate it, of course. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.